is a cracker. I have found myself being drawn to creating my own patterns and embellishments. And you can find these things everywhere. They're on Pinterest, there's YouTube videos, there's all different sorts to create optical illusions. Okay, it's all just drawing with, most of the time it's drawing with black and white contrast. So a pen, a pencil, a felt pen, anything you like. So what I decided to do was, as much as I'm drawn to this, I thought I want to create a page that is very striking, but you only need black and white paper and a couple of pens. That's it. So I'm using a black UNI-BALL gel impact pen, and I got mine for my Aussie subscribers. I get mine from Officeworks, and they're only about $4.80 or something a pen. The gold metallic is awesome. The white UNI-BALL Signo Broad is awesome, and I love the black. So it's really, what's the word? Opaque. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm actually showing you, so you can see the little card off to the side. It took a bit for my brain to comprehend what I was doing, what I was seeing, and what my brain wanted to do. Two different animals, mate, let me tell you. She was a cracker. Took me a few goes to get this right, to get it to flow. Now, could I have done this directly onto my cardstock and create a border with it? Absolutely. Was that my intention initially? Absolutely. Did I trust myself not to get one little square from the end and not completely stuff it up? Nah. So I decided what I would do is I would create 3 by 3 inch squares and then draw in my 1 by 1 inch squares inside. You can do these any size you like. You can make them, you could do the big 3 inch if you wanted to. You could do 2 inch ones. You could do any size you like. You could do 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and it just looks amazing. As you can see, all I'm doing is line after line. I'm going around the edge. You start off wider and then take it to the corner. And what I actually figured out as I was moving these along, so I'm trying here to keep my head out of the way and my hand out of the way so you can see exactly what happens as you go in. So it creates this kind of illusion that it's almost like a basket weave look. I absolutely love this one. There was so many to choose from. I was in awe. I absolutely love it. I was watching a Netflix movie as I was doing this, Man from Snowy River. How iconic is that movie? Seriously. If you're an Aussie, you know. If you are not an Aussie, if you have Netflix, if you have it, watch it. It is literally, because I'm obviously not 21, I remember watching this movie years and years ago and just being in awe how these people rode these horses. And I love horses. I love their noses. I do not have one. I do not ride horses. I love them for what they are, but they scare me a little bit because they're huge. As I'm a Chihuahua mama, you can probably gather that I like small things. So yeah, I love them. And this movie, I sat down to do these and I thought, you know what? This is just going to be one of these pages that's going to take time. It's not going to be hard. It's just going to take time. Now, full disclaimer, I was watching movies while I was creating it, yes, but this took me an entire day. So if this is something that you love, you may not have an ADHD type brain that can look at something and just do it. I can do that 99.9% of the time. I don't need instructions. I just have to look at something and I can duplicate it. I'm lucky in that way. This took me a little bit to get on a roll. And so it did take me a bit. And then towards the very end, I started to think to myself, well, the black and the white, I haven't done a monochromatic page for a while. So I thought maybe I should just stick with the black and white. Then it dawned on me. I've had a few people ask me, do I scrapbook professional photos? And I thought, you know what? I do have a couple of professional photos. Now, I left this in. Can you see there where I stuffed up? Maybe you can't. I covered it pretty quickly. Okay, so what I'm doing here is for some contrast. So you can see at the top, and I've tried to not put these in the zoomed in piece because it really does mess with your mind when the piece of paper keeps twisting. I didn't get a headache or anything from it, but you know, it worked out all good. What I thought I'd do is have the black and white, and then I thought gold metallic POSCA pen. That would work beautifully, and that would add the point of difference to the page. That would, it's not monochromatic, but it's, yeah, it just, it lifted it. So I was going to do, you can see there's two more cards up there. I was going to do those in the black and white, and that's when I stopped and thought maybe this is just going to be too much on one page. And that's when it registered with me. I'm going to use one photo and I'll make it a professional photo. So the photo is of me light years ago. I was 18 in this photo. It was my year 12 formal, and back then I thought, I'm so fat, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, I wish I had been kinder to myself, because it's not all about being skinny. It's, your mental health is so much more important, honestly, than, yeah. I won't go down a rabbit hole with that, but as you can see here, you can smash out these things pretty quick. Had I have used a POSCA, what I did realize was, had I have used a POSCA paint pen from the very beginning, it may have come together quicker because it just flowed. The black one, no, I don't know. Maybe the black one really did flow quite nicely. Now, apologies for the sun coming in the back window. This comes in behind me. Now, here is something I did do differently. Normally, as you know, if you're a subscriber to me, and if you're not, I'd love you to subscribe. I was going to trim my paper down to 11.5 like normal. However, for some reason, I stopped myself. I don't know why. I'm going to regret that when I go to put this in an album, but that's okay. I will deal with it when the time comes. But for the sake of the video, I'm using a 5x7 professional print, and this is I think this is the only photo I have. Actually, I have two. I have another one, but I can't ever scrap that because my best friend at the time, I don't have contact with her much anymore. Just two people. We just grew in our own directions, and I don't have the ability to request her consent to be in the photos. So I won't be scrapping that one on my video, but she's a beautiful human being. She really is. Now, okay, so this is where I decided, I put them down and I thought, right, these white squares need to be matted. So I just did a quick bit of matting on them. It didn't take very long, and it's right here that I realize, why do these look so different? The one thing you probably need to do, and I did go back and fix it, so when you look at the close-ups, I did spend probably another 15 minutes, and if you look at the squares at the top right versus top left even, notice how the top right looks really, they both look good, but I prefer the one on the right. What I actually had done inadvertently, and probably whilst watching movies or whatever, I was leaving my gaps ever so slightly wider. Now, I go back and fix that. Now, what I decided to do was cut 1/4 inch strips of the black cardstock. So it's still using just your black and white cardstock. Same gold pen, just to create a strip. Now, to hold it perfect so I can get the lines straight, I just put a bit of double-sided tape on my mat, and I'm using my T-square ruler. If I was to be asked, what tool do you wish you had from day one, it would be a T-square ruler. They're like $5 from Craft Online. You can buy them online heaps now, but when I got mine, I had to really hunt to find it, and it is the best, especially for something like this where you need to get these lines perfectly straight. Now, that's not repositionable tape. Didn't take much to scratch off there. I do that quite a lot. It just gives me like a third hand. Just put a bit of tape down. So here's where I thought, okay, this will tie it all together if I run around with create a border within a border sort of situation. And that I love. So you know what? I commit to it straight away. Now, I do bring my T-square ruler in here because the one thing I've learned is when you're doing something like a repetitive geometric style of pattern, you need your lines straight. If you don't have your lines straight, mate, it's going to drive you crackers at the very end when you've put all this work into a page and it doesn't work. It just, oh, it's incredibly frustrating. Just like that sunshine you can see. I'm so sorry. So I couldn't, it was so cold. By the afternoon, when I get that little bit of sunshine on my back and it warms me up, and it's like, no, I don't care that there's a little bit of sunshine peeking on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side of me. I need the sun on my back more than my subscribers will care if they can see a little bit of sunshine. So this is where I made the decision, stick it down. Be done, stick it down, stop procrastinating. And so I went with putting so the two outside bars, they're in a little bit. They're not quite 1 inch from the edge. The reason being is because I wanted to sort of create the gold ones either side. I wanted them to be sort of central to, and they're not even perfect, but you know, it's close. See, I wanted them to be central a little bit, whereas the top and bottom, you don't notice that as much, but it's okay. Now I'm just putting a little bit of fun foam on the back of my gold, only my gold ones, just to raise them up to give a little bit of extra texture is what I was going for, as if all that line work isn't texture enough. But now I've got the squares all down. Can you see the difference between the one in the top right and the other three? Now, all I did to fix that was I sat there and I went around with my pen and I just added an extra line and made the gap smaller. And as soon as I did that, bang, it worked. So, if there's any advice I will give you creating this sort of optical illusion with your pen, just do yourself a favor and I wouldn't say go around and measure each line. You'll be there for 3 days and you'll be disappointed because you'll be like, oh my God, I could have done that so much quicker. So, yeah. So I'm going through my creative memories. What are they? They're my classy stickers, classic stickers. I'm not sure what they're called. Let me have a look. See, they are sassy. No. Does it say it on them? No, it doesn't. I hope Creative Memories have fixed that these days. These stickers I've had for a hot minute. Don't you worry about that. And just to sound American for a second, hot minute. I don't even say that. Why did that even come out of my mouth? Okay. Maybe because I haven't finished my coffee for the morning. Could be it. Just black stickers. They're CM ones and they're classy or sassy or something like that. How much do you hate it when you don't measure out your letters first? And then you got to go along. And I only had one M. Can you see that? I had to do that very carefully. So I'm just putting these on some of the leftover cardstock. Same cardstock. It's just, my cardstock is just the super cheap Poppy Craft. This isn't the textured cardstock, so I knew I wasn't going to be cutting it on the Cricut or anything like that. This is just the Poppy Crafts plain white 12 by 12 cardstock, and it costs, and it costs, oh, that really hurt. $2.99, I think it is, $2.99, $3.99 for a pack of 10 on Craft Online website. Jump on there, have a look. That sun's starting to annoy me now, but it's so close to just going behind the shed and then I lose all my sunshine. So this is my title, Seniors 1994. There you go. Now you'll know my age if you choose to sit and work it out. I'll save you the trouble. I'm 46. So it feels like it was light years ago. 3 kids, married. It feels so long ago. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you a little tiny, very super quick story. See the dress I'm wearing? For all the girls that watch, they probably don't watch this, but the parents of girls, if you've got a daughter and they want you to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a dress, FYI, that dress that I've got, I bought in a secondhand shop for $50. And $59 it cost me. Back in 94, don't get me wrong, back in 94, there were girls and they were getting dresses made. They were like, it was still a big thing back then to graduate high school. And just saying, at the end of the night, everyone was hot. They were exhausted. They were trying to take layers off. I just had me a short, it's not as short as it looks there. It came down a little bit further. But yeah, save your money. Looks just as good in 20 years time when you look back. So here it is. Here's the close-up for you. I just did a black line around the gold line around my title. And that's it. So that's my take on optical illusion. As you can see, I've added the extra lines in there. So if you liked it, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment and I'll chat to you soon, guys. Thanks heaps. Bye.